A tranquil morning mist embraced the serene lakeside, a perfect, peaceful start to the day. Nestled amidst nature, a stunning modern cabin stood, a true architectural gem. On the deck, the landlord enjoyed his morning coffee, completely at ease. A moment of quiet reflection, a picture of perfect, undisturbed tranquility. He savoured the view, the gentle sounds of the lake his only company. Suddenly, the peace was shattered. An imposing SUV sped into view. It screeched to an abrupt halt, disturbing the morning's calm. From within, a woman emerged, her face contorted with intense fury. She slammed the door, a clipboard clutched tightly in her hand. With a determined stride, she marched directly towards the cabin. Her gestures were wild, pointing emphatically at her clipboard. She believed she had caught him, a rule breaker in her domain. Her accusations grew louder, a torrent of complaints about regulations. He remained seated, calmly observing her escalating theatrics. Unfazed by her anger, he simply checked his watch, unconcerned. Karen pointed frantically at a no short-term rental sign. She believed this sign was irrefutable proof of his transgression. Her voice reached a fever pitch, echoing across the quiet lake. The landlord, however, remained utterly unperturbed by her outburst. He took another sip of coffee, a picture of serene indifference. With a triumphant smirk, she pulled out her phone, dialing 911. Convinced her victory was assured, she spoke into the receiver. She believed the authorities would swiftly validate her claims. The landlord watched, a hint of amusement in his calm gaze. He knew this confrontation was far from over, but not in her favor. Soon, the quiet was broken by the distinct sound of sirens. A police officer stepped out, professional and composed. Karen rushed to him, a whirlwind of indignation and false claims. She pointed at the landlord, labeling him a squatter, an illegal tenant. The officer, patient, listened to her exaggerated story. He then approached the landlord, seeking his side of the narrative. The landlord, without a word, reached into his pocket. He produced a leather folder, a simple yet significant gesture. Inside, a property deed and the master lease agreement. Documents that told a very different and undeniable story. The officer reviewed the papers, his expression unreadable at first, a slow nod, then a pointed glance at Karen, who watched intently. Her face, once red with anger, began to visibly pale. The landlord rose, meeting her gaze directly, a subtle power shift. His words were calm, but carried immense, undeniable weight. Actually, he began, I own this entire development. A flashback, him signing papers in a lavish, high-end office. He wasn't just a property owner. He owned the HOA's largest commercial block. Karen's phone buzzed, a harsh notification breaking her shock. A notice of eviction email, her own lease, terminated. The tables had turned, swiftly and decisively, in an instant. The officer, now firm, asked Karen to leave the premises. Defeated, she retreated to her car, her earlier bravado gone. Her frantic departure a stark contrast to her earlier arrival. The landlord watched her go, a subtle smirk playing on his lips. He returned to his coffee, the peace finally restored. The sun began to set over the tranquil lake, painting the sky. Justice, it seemed, had been served, quietly and completely. A quiet victory, a lesson learned, under the fading light.